most likely, all right, fine. They're most likely not going to continue with the DACA program, so what are you going to do then?
Well, I think as the provost already said, our primary commitment is to protecting, serving our students, ensuring their success. We welcome students regardless of
Are you
their
going to
status.
sign on to the Sanctuary Campus program?
We're looking at a number of potential actions that we can take, and what we want to do today is to listen to what people feel about these things, because we're taking this all into account, and we're having constant discussions of what it makes sense for us to do. We can assert our values at this point, we can assert our goals at this point, but specifically what actions we should take in light of whatever occurred, which hasn't occurred yet, we need to get there. Sorry?
But will likely occur.
Yeah, that you can predict that, but we don't know exactly what's going to. We don't. The DACA program itself on campus, on university campuses, has not been a focus of recent discussions of immigration policy. And I have to say that what has been discussed in recent immigration policy has not been very clear at this point, as you probably know. And but we know where we stand. We know what our values are. The question is how best to protect our students, and that's what we'll be looking at. That's going to be our criteria. You want to say anything to that?
Yeah, I'll just say this. What the university does is we go ahead and in our acceptance policies, we don't require proof of citizenship. That's not one of the things that we utilize. It's not one of the decisions we do. And we aid people regardless of their citizenship. So those are the two key things that the university does. And I see no reason that the university, we've not contemplated, we've not thought about changing those programs. I don't see why the federal DACA program would lead us to go ahead and change our programs on that dimension.
And we didn't adopt those programs as a result of the DACA program either. We were already doing that before the DACA program was announced. Other comments? Questions?
My name is Karin. I'm a graduate student from Malaysia. Since we don't know what's going on, I'm not a DACA student, but I feel bad because it's hard. So it really touched me. So but I have a suggestion because we really don't know what's going to happen. So in case the new administration does it and moves, and they are in fear of deportation, one thing that can happen for the university as a suggestion for you guys is to, so if they're going to seek for their homes because they're going to, they're located where they live, so maybe they can live on campus. So that is a suggestion for those DACA recipients.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, so you're suggesting that if there are students who are not living currently on campus but are DACA students, that one option would be for them to live on campus?
Yes, so for those DACA students that are not living on campus,
Yeah.
if this changes the administrations, so maybe they can live on campus so they can be safe there.
Yeah. So I think that's a very concrete suggestion, and I think that's the kind of idea that would be great to hear. People have thoughts like that. We want to take that into account, kind of collect all these ideas, and come up with how we're going to proceed. But I understand the logic of what you're saying,
Yeah.
because I think it is probably it's less likely that people are going to come on campus, than in some other situations. So that's a very concrete suggestion which we can take into account. So I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
So as the vice president of one of the largest student groups on campus, what can we do in your eyes to help our fellow students get through, troubling times such as these?
If you want to take that session, you don't want to talk about that.
I'd like to touch that. I think one of the things that needs to happen is that we need to have more constructive dialogue across groups. It's always surprising to me when we have large-scale student organization meetings that many student organization meetings don't know each other. I think when you have even tighter communities where folks don't know each other across them, I think that's a pretty good reflection of what the rest of the campus is all about. I think one of the challenges is that as we are kind of a vertical institution, we are a bit siloed here, and I think that our organizations sometimes follow the same pattern that. We actually had our first program yesterday with a small group, and it's something we hope to grow. The other thing that we're doing is we have a series of diversity workshops that we've been doing since September, and we've had a lot of students from different backgrounds come to our office and come to our building and participate. But I think the key thing is that students, and in fact, part of the reason we've been doing these workshops is that students have actually pushed us to offer more diversity trainings and more workshops. So I think, much like we've always said, those of us who are old enough to remember the 60s, we've always said that the great movements of our nation were driven by students. And I think this is a great opportunity here. And if you can point that movement toward reconciliation, mediation, dialogue, I think that would go a long way to help us come together. We're certainly here to help you do that.
I would echo that. I was at a meeting that Mike had yesterday. We invited Mike to speak, and one of the key points he made was that I think experiencing all the diversity that this university has is really a strength. So when you think about it, Mike's suggestion was go to one event a week that's different than your comfort. Like maybe eat a different place, go to a different library, go to a different academic program, go to a different student organization. You did that in a year. You might do 30 different events a year. You might meet 30 different types of people. And I think that's one of the, we all tend to sit or stay with our own. A lot of times we kind of go where we're comfortable. So I think really Mike's encouragement was think about that. Think about the opportunities at a place as diverse and rich like this. We have all kinds of diversity across the spectrum. So how do we maximize that? How do we support each other? We're going to give you a handout on the way out that lists a series of resources, everything from Title IX, reaching out if you see a person who's been assaulted or you know something that's happening, our care network, the counseling center. If you see an incident, report it to the police. That's the type of community we want to cultivate here. And I think GW Vets does that, and a lot of our student organizations do that. And we want to continue to kind of maximize that. Thanks for your question.
I would also just add, as a representative of the Student Association, you all have your elected representatives, including myself and Erica, and we are always willing to meet with any student with any issue that they're having, with any concern that they want to be addressed. And we bring those issues up to a lot of the times the people on the stage or other administrators, and we try to get them addressed. And they can be larger issues, or they can be more singular issues that only affect maybe you as an individual. But we're always willing to do that and always willing to work with students. So we hope to support you in that. And I would also encourage just, other students, just reaching out to other students, really being there for your friends, really, checking in to see if they're okay. A lot of people, are very good, including myself, are very good at hiding personal issues that they may be having. And that's just a kind of natural human intuition. So reaching out, whether it be within your communities, fraternities, sororities, doesn't matter, friend groups, making sure that your fellow students are okay. And that's really on all of us to do that. And I would encourage you all. That's a very simple way that a lot of you can really help improve the campus climate here.
I'll just say this. Universities are really, really special places. They're wonderful places to be. And one of the things that makes them so special is the ability to take, in a sense, healthy risks. And that means being exposed to different views and different types of people, and international people, people of different ideological bents, and people who are documented and undocumented, and people who grew up in very different environments, and respectfully listening and hearing their views. And in a sense, administrators can't create the campus climate. It's what all of us together do. And this conversation, conversation in schools and public health, conversation with Galen Walston, all those other conversations are part of that. And one of the things that I have always valued the most about GW is that those sorts of conversations have occurred. And as student leaders, for those of you that are student leaders, bringing together your organization and making sure that folks are exposed to the views of veterans and other things like that, that's a really important thing to have.
There's a bunch of chairs up here.